Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. I wanted to go through something a little bit different today with you. I was going through one of my art kits recently and I realized that there's something in there that I kind of use a lot, and what I'm talking about is the kneadable eraser. It usually comes in a little packet like this. It kind of looks like a little block of clay. Now if you've ever seen one of these in your kit and you're wondering what on earth is it, it's called a kneadable eraser. Otherwise, what mine looks like is this kind of weird looking stress ball. It can be used for a lot of different things. So today I wanted to go through a bit of a video just showing you guys how I use my kneadable eraser and how you can use it to help with your artwork for day-to-day projects. Alright, so I've just switched to a top-down view of the sketchbook just to give some examples and go through just a little trial of how we can use the eraser to improve our art and different techniques that we can use in different drawings. The first thing I'm going to go ahead and do is just really roughly sketch in a sphere. And then going in with my 4B pencil, I'm going to shade the sphere. Alright, so what you may have noticed is here in the center of my little sphere that I've gone a little bit dark. So I'm just going to go through the first example of what I would use a kneadable eraser for. So a traditional eraser, like this one here, obviously this one's had a bit of wear and tear, but it's only that specific shape. You can only use that to how you would please. Whereas with a kneadable eraser, you can kind of pick up the graphite off of the paper. So I'll just go in and show you. I'm going to just push on the eraser with my hand, just to create like a little end shape, but also having it thicker on the back so I've got a bit more to hold on to. And then going over the top of the lighter area where I feel like I've gone a bit dark, and just very lightly dusting over the top to lighten up that area a little bit. Now you can go back and forth over this to try and get that perfect desired look that you want, depending on your shade and what kind of lighting you want for that area. But it's a really good way to build up the work over time, gradually take away rather than as intently as that as a normal traditional eraser. Alright, so the second example that I wanted to go through was actually regarding the kneadable eraser and a blending stump. So here is my blending stump. A blending stump, really simply and dulled down, is a stump that you use to blend graphites to get a nice smooth transition. As you can see, my blending stump at the moment is filthy. So one of the things I actually like to use my kneadable eraser for is when you've got your blending stump, just pressing it in. As you can see, it's picking up all of the graphite off the end of the stump, and then you just roll the eraser around a little bit in your hands and repeat the process until you've picked up as much graphite off the end as possible. So now if I'm just like going over the paper again, it's still quite dirty, but nowhere near as bad as the other end, which I haven't done yet. So it's a good cleaning tool for your blending stumps. Alright, the next thing I wanted to get into is the finer details. So as I said earlier, with the traditional eraser you can't get into smaller spots. So if I just draw So you can see here in the corner that I've made a bit of a mistake. So obviously with the normal eraser you could very easily try and get in there and use that control, and that kind of works, right? But if I had, say for example, in the middle here, I didn't want to colour in that square, it's going to be a lot harder to get in there with a traditional eraser to get the effect that you necessarily want. So what you can actually do is, again, pinch the end of the eraser very finely down to like a little point, and have the rest of it that one stump again so that you can hold on to it, and then very gently just tap and drag very gently over the top, and it will pick up a lot more graphite than you would think. And even if you don't necessarily have access to a traditional eraser like this, you can see around the edge here of my sphere that it's quite messy, so you can actually still go in and use the eraser, again, whatever shape you like, to pick up pieces and clean it up, and again go back. I find with a traditional eraser it can be quite harsh, and you also get those flakes. You see all those rubbery bits that are coming off? You don't get that with a kneadable eraser. So if you've got a large artwork that you've been working on, say for example this is a beautiful masterpiece, and you've gone over it to fix up a mistake, and you've gone, oh crap, and you wipe. See right there, I just made a mark on the paper with my nail, it's going to smudge. Whereas with this you've got a lot more control, and you're never going to leave those little rubbery dust marks. Okay, there we go guys, thank you so much. This was just a really quick kind of tutorial video that I wanted to go through today to discuss this particular art supply, I guess you could call it. If you have any particular products, or if you have any sort of particular pieces in your art kit that you want me to go through and discuss, let me know in the comments. Otherwise, thank you again for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.